We're not going to be here long. So we was here so long the other week. We're going to let everybody out. It's a little bit earlier this Shabbat. And once again, for anyone that needs letters for your employment, we have the dates of the holy feast days that are approaching. You can come and get one when the class is adjourned. And if anything happens that changes from now until then, we'll let you know. But the Feast of Trumpets should fall on the Shabbat day. That's on what they call September the 7th. The Day of Atonement should fall 9 days from there, which will put it on Sunday evening, which is the 15th, going into the 16th, which will be Monday. So those of all who work on that Monday will need that day off. So we have the letters here for you. I just have one thing, because the scripture does say, as the sister said, we have to meditate in the law day and night. In the Psalms that I read earlier, Psalms 119, the psalmist said, by him meditating, that Yah will show him wondrous things out of his law. So I need some help from the people today, because this fourth day, we read something, and I read it 1,000 times, but I didn't see this one thing, and it's in the book of the law, in the book of Leviticus, the 18th chapter. And I want to see if everybody see this the same way that the people seen it, who met, or if you see this a little bit different. And I wanted to teach not to add unto the words of Yah, nor to take anything away from it, but just leave it alone. So I need the help from the people that wasn't there. We're going to see if we all on the same page and tune. We turn to Leviticus, the 18th chapter. Because the scripture also says the safety in a multitude of counsel. So let's see. Going to Leviticus, the 18th chapter, I'm going to start at the 6th verse. It says, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahweh. The nakedness of thy father, or the nakedness of thy mother, shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughter or thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for there is thy own nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife, daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. And I'm not going to read any further, because it's speaking about your nearest kin and uncover their nakedness. And we know through the story of Ham, what occurred with Ham and one of his sons, or Noah and one of his sons, named Ham. And if you don't know, for those who don't know, turn to the book of Genesis. We're going to come back here. Genesis, the 9th chapter. Going to the book of Genesis, the 9th chapter, the 18th verse. It said, and the sons of Noah that went forth for the ark were Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he got drunk of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. This is a man that seen all his relatives pass through the flood waters. And that the scriptures let us know, say, this is the kind of man that you give strong drink and wine to, that he may forget his misery. So Noah, the first thing that he done when he got off that boat, he planted a vineyard. Verse 21, he got drunk of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and he told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah woke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him, because the Most High let him know what took place while he was sleeping. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." Now, who was Canaan? That was Noah's grandson. That was one of Ham's sons. The curse wasn't that he cursed him and turned him black, as they teach. All these men was black. And he noticed he couldn't curse Ham because Yahweh already done blessed Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So he said, "Cursed be Canaan." And who can curse whom Yahweh have blessed? You can't. No one. And Noah knew this. So he said, "Cursed be Canaan." But as a result of his father, of Ham, looking on Noah's nakedness. Now turn back to Leviticus 18. Because I read it, like I said, I read this 1,000 times, but I said, is this what I'm reading? It couldn't be saying this. And let me throw it out there to y'all. The verse that I came across, which a lot of us might be guilty of if it's saying what I think it's saying. According to verse 10, it said, "The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover." So it's telling the parents not to uncover your granddaughter's nakedness. When you're taking care of your son and daughter kids. Don't uncover their nakedness. Now somebody say, well, what does it mean to uncover the nakedness? Well, I showed you one example. And that was through Noah. And I looked up what uncover mean, because I thought it meant to sleep with. And it don't mean to sleep with. And to prove it, it don't mean to sleep with. It means exactly what Noah's son did. He looked on his father's nakedness. Now go to, I'll come to everybody that have a comment or question. The book of Leviticus. Go to the 20th chapter. That's right. Expose. You can't expose your nakedness. The kids can't look on the parents' nakedness at all. And no parent should have their kids, daughter and son in the tub together, bathing. And where do I get that from? You go to Leviticus, the 20th chapter. Start at the 17th verse. It said, "And if a man should take his sister or his father's daughter or his mother's daughter and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a what? It's a righteous thing?" No, it didn't say that. It said it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. Why? He hath uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity. See, these laws are serious. Y'all don't have none of his sons looking on the sister's nakedness, and none of the daughters looking on the brother's nakedness, and none of the kids looking on the parents' nakedness. So up the time when we had children lent to grandparents that's taking care of them, could they be violating this law? Absolutely. And you got a question, Kelaya, or a comment about it? Do you see something different? Do anybody in here see something different than what I just read? You see, just raise your hand. I want the people that seen something different. Okay, brother Yishakar.
The last verse you just went to, you used the word "see her," so their nakedness was being seen, whereas on the Leviticus, the 18th chapter, is talked about throughout the scriptures, it talked about the nakedness.
Uncovered,
right. Maybe it was saying that on the Leviticus, the 18th chapter, maybe it was talking about uncovering the nakedness for sexual versus.
And I thought that, and I thought the same thing, but see, the thing is, when you look that word up, it says to discover. See, it don't talk about lying with at all. It's talking about to discover. You seeing the nakedness of the person. Now you done uncovered it. That's why I went to Leviticus 20, this verse, and 17. It say, she saw his nakedness, he saw hers, and as a result, the nakedness was uncovered.
This was a great subject because when me and my wife first got together, she has a daughter, which is my daughter now, and her mother, my wife's mother, actually asked me and my son, because I had custody of my son. We was living in the house, and we all moved together when we had got married and stuff. And she was wanting to know about my son because they're a few, they're 3 years apart.
Right.
So she was kind of concerned about my son sleeping with, her granddaughter.
Right.
So I had to show her Leviticus, the 18th chapter, over the phone. And when she read it, I said, this is what we teach at our Bible class. This is what we've been teaching for over, 20, 40 years. So she was fine with that. So, but when I showed her the scripture, I showed it to her and presented it as if
they're sleeping with manner.
Right. So
right. And we could have been wrong for telling her that, because my understanding that I'm getting in the reading, that's why I said I done read it 100 times. But that night, this fourth day night, y'all showed me, son, you wasn't meditating like you should have been, because my word is plain and my law is perfect. And when you talking about uncovering the nakedness, he's talking about looking upon the nakedness of those people, of your nearest of kin, which is a wicked thing to do. See, before you even get to lying with, he said, hey, and how did Ham's grandson get cursed? By Ham seeing his father's nakedness. But a lot of brothers even teach that Ham must have had sexual relations with Noah.
No.
The Talmud say that, don't it? And that's where they get it from, that Ham has sexual relations with Noah. It don't say that. It say all Ham did was saw his father's nakedness. He went out and told his brothers. So what did his brothers do? They went backwards and then covered their father up. They didn't want to look at it, the father's naked, because they knew you receive what his grandson received. And that's a curse. That's why we have to meditate in these laws. That's why I say the safety of the multitude of counsel. And I want y'all, if y'all seen something different than what I was reading and what we all saw. So we say, oh boy, we've been doing stuff all wrong. Yes, ma'am, Sister Don. Oh, the elder. Hold on, sister. We'll go to the elder first.
Yes. One of the reasons why that I can see that the Almighty has said this is because, see, when they do, now you open yourself up for incest, which, through the Greeks and the Romans and all that, they did that anyway.
That's right.
See, and still doing it. You're right. But see, by us just looking.
Y'all say, I don't even want you looking.
Just that is wrong.
Then you look and you start desiring.
And then it's going to lead into something else.
That's right.
So that's somebody.
Look at her. That's right. And you know how corrupt we are as a people.
Yeah.
Get to looking and sister ain't looking too bad. I got to find out if she my real sister or not. Boy. So y'all didn't want us to have no kind of perverted thoughts at all. Well, Sister Don, I'll come to you, Key.
I just had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if we we take this literally for what it says. Do not uncover the nakedness of your daughter's child. What does a grandparent do when they need to change their infant grandchild?
And see, that question came up in a class, but let me show y'all something that what it didn't say. Because it don't say, well, let me just show you what I mean. What it did say and what it didn't say. And I read basically this whole chapter. And you notice most the people that it named for you not to uncover, 90% it was women. It was the daughters. You won't see nothing about the son. Now you'll see it about your father's brother. But you read this, for instance, in verse, we're gonna start at verse, we're gonna read it over, and I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. Verse 7 said, the necklace of thy father or the necklace of thy mother shall thou not uncover. That's for the kids. Seest thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The necklace of thy father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness, your father's wife. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father. Or she can be the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad. Even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness, now this is talking about the grandparents. The nakedness of thy son's daughter or thy daughter's daughter. So irrespective of which one daughter it is, your son had a daughter, your daughter had a daughter. The parents is not to look upon the daughter's nakedness, for there is thy own nakedness. Now you notice, now where's the son at? Now if the law is perfect and we're not to add to it or take anything away from it, you can't add the son to it because it don't say it. And if y'all wanted it to be said, he would have said it. He would have said it. But then you got the people with the other logic. They say, well, oftentimes when the scripture prefers or talking about the son, he's talking about the daughter. And when he's talking about the daughter, he's talking about the son. See, but I'm just going by what this say and what it don't say. Then you keep on reading verse 11, say the nakedness of thy father's wife, daughter. Notice that. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, once again the daughter. She is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's, there you go, brother, the father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt. And how you uncover your father's brother's nakedness? By approaching unto his wife. She is thy aunt. That's your aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter. Back, keep talking about the daughter. You don't see nothing about the son, but the daughter over and over, the daughter. It's something about the daughter child. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. Also thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Don't be approaching your wife talking about something, hey, take them clothes off. It's time. No. He said, don't do that. Don't approach unto her in that matter. No. You're supposed to be separated from her 7 days. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her. So it stops at verse 19. Now I'm asking, do anybody else see this different? Was you finished, Sister Dawn?
Well, I was just kind of wondering, like, what recourse that you have, because
for changing diapers. Right.
So speaks specifically
and
to me.
that verse, sister, is stuck. It's stuck. I tell you, it's stuck in my craw. I was all of us that night. But I was saying, Dad, what about is it saying that the grandparents can't change the son's or their daughter's child if she is a female, the diaper? Is he talking about somebody that's small like that? Or he's talking about just wait till they get a little bigger, older? Yahweh don't put no age on this. He just said don't uncover their nakedness. Now we can put an age on it with our own understanding, with our own logic. And that's what I was trying to do when we met. I was wrestling with it right now. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Changing a baby diaper. But if Yahweh said don't uncover it, he means what he say. See, my wisdom ain't higher than the Most High. He is the highest. But I had to meditate. I had to let Yah word prevail in my own heart, in my own thoughts. But like you said, Sister Don, that was one I was wrestling with. Because most of us, we allow the grandparents to watch the youth and change the youth and things like that. Keli?
I got two questions now. The first one is, and I've heard this before, but where does the concept of approaching them for sex come into play when reading this? Because I never saw that, and I'm kind of wondering where that.
I never saw it neither. I never saw that in there. And my understanding came from when I seen first what happened with Noah and his son. That whole chapter lets you know that he uncovered his father's nakedness, and it states it. And how did he do it? He saw his father. He didn't do what his brothers did and turned around. He looked right on it. And and it's crazy today because we live in a corrupt society. A lot of kids try to sneak in the room and look at little daddy and mommy get busy. That's an abomination. Total wickedness. Try to look and get a sneak. Bust you inside your head at that door. But no, I don't think he's talking about, I think he's talking about exactly what it said. Uncovering. If you look that word up, and Yisrael is very fluent in the Hebrew, you will see that it's talking about looking upon, discovering, and not sex at all. Now, sex could come afterwards, after you looked upon it, like my brother said. That's the next step, the next move. And a lot of Gentiles do the next move. Sleep with mama. Father sleep with daughter. They do that. A lot of them. But those are not the ways of our people. That's why y'all say don't learn the ways of the Canaanites and the people amongst whom you dwell. He said, for they all committed these wicked abominations, and I abhorred them. I hated them. Looking on their father and mother nakedness, doing this type of stuff. He said, don't not one of y'all commit any one of these wicked abominations. And this is the law. It's not my law. This is what the book is saying. So a lot of us, we got to reevaluate some things, how we doing some things. And let the father do the changing. Let the mother do the changing. Yes, sir, Moreh Dan. Yeah, you can marry your cousin. You can marry your cousin. That's not against the law. Brother Steve.
I know where they get that doctrine from. You know, a lot of it. You know, we talk about how he changed how in the book of Daniel, Brother Daniel was talking about they changed the laws and things of that nature. I think a lot of the changing the laws were in the Talmud.
In the Talmud.
Yeah. I'm right here. It gives a kind of understanding of nakedness, but what it says, it refers to Leviticus 20 and 11, where it says if a man. Well, it talks about, let me read it. 20 and 11, where it says, if a man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness, both of them shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. So it was talking about how having sex with his father's wife is uncovering his father's nakedness, not necessarily looking at his father's nakedness, but that having sex part. And it also said, It also said, it said, you shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. You shall not uncover her nakedness. Should also be interpreted in this fashion. So too, we should say that the singular form of the expression, her nakedness, teaches that if a man has intercourse with his daughter-in-law, you may find him liable because of one forbidden sexual relationship. So right here, it's basically just saying that her nakedness means relations, but this book has been wrong many times. It also talks about how you give your seed to Molech. It doesn't mean your child. It means your emission. So it's a lot of different interpretations. But I've seen where
right. And the beautiful thing is, Yah said he showed his word only to one people, and he said that was to Israel. He said he ain't dealt with no Jewish man. He ain't dealt with no Muslim minister. And he definitely ain't dealt with no Christian minister. And the New Testament is far worse than the Talmud. As my beloved sister Hilkiah was speaking about earlier, about how we was together during that Black Wall Street, and my other beloved sister, and how integration destroyed us as a people. Well, the Quran and the New Testament teach integration. They teach you to love your enemy and pray for them that despitefully use you and abuse you. The Quran teaches the black man to go to his white counterpart and support him before he go to his own black African brother. They books teach that. And through those two religions, our people has been destroyed. Yahweh's Torah is the only one that teaches black unity. Unity of the black man and the woman. These other books don't teach that. But we was the people that was given the knowledge, the word, wisdom, and understanding to teach Yah's word. Not the Jewish man. That same Talmud, brother, you showed me earlier, they teach that a man can have sexual relations with a young girl, 8 years old, has sexual relations, 3 years old, and so does the Muslim book called the Hadith. Said the Prophet Muhammad married a young girl at 8 years. And what's the Hadith? A lot of Muslims go by the Hadith. Now Malik, he was one that he said he ain't go by the Hadith. But when Elisha asked him, Malik, where your holy days at? Name them. He couldn't. But Malik said the Quran was complete, nothing left out of it. If it's complete, where are your holy days at, brother Malik? And most of the Muslims, the imams, they go by the Hadith. And in order to go by the book of the Hadith, which supposed to be the utterances of Muhammad, the words of the Prophet Muhammad, they tell you the holy days in the Hadith, but not in the Quran. We don't have to go to no other book, no Talmud, no New Testament to find our holy days. No book of the Jubilee to find our holy days. All our holy days is mentioned in the Torah. It is the only complete book. But I just thought I'd bring that chapter out. Yes, you want to comment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother Ezanai.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I was just meditating on King David, and I was wondering if, in your opinion, do you think that's what happened with King David? Because I never heard that, spoke about. Do you think the fact that he saw the woman's nakedness was a sin, and then going forth in the act will make it two sins?
Well, let me show you what King David did. He went out through his window or balcony, wherever he was at, and he saw this woman. There was a married woman standing, and she was washing herself, bathing herself. And when he seen that, when them eyes behold that woman, the thought of the woman being Uriah's wife, that was farthest from his mind. He looked at them curves, bam, bam. He said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. I gotta have her. Because his eyes and his heart done deceived him. Yah told us don't covet thy neighbor's house, thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, maidservant, nor anything that is thy neighbor. That was far from David's mind and heart. He seen it. He said, I gotta have it, baby. And by all means, if I gotta set him in the front line of battle, so be it. The sword devours all. He gonna die one day anyway. He did. Yah said he despised me. And what David did, he said, you give the enemies an occasion to blaspheme me now. The king that I set up to rule my people. And y'all even told David, said, if that would have been too little, the wife that you did have, I would have gave you more. Why would you go and sleep with another man's wife? Why would you do this thing? Brothers, why would we go and sleep with another man's wife? All the beautiful daughters of Zion, one for each day of the week that you can choose from. That's how the ratio is today in America, as the sister said. And you had to go and get this married one. Couldn't get no more wicked and evil than that. But nevertheless, y'all say, what? I'll show mercy to whom I will show mercy to. I'm the judge. I want to pardon David's sin. Now, the foolish brother said, well, because King David did, I'm going to do it. He got away with it. In eating the holy shoe bread. We're going to eat some holy shoe bread. No, you don't follow after what a man do. You follow the commandments and laws of the Most High. Just because a man do something don't mean that you do the same thing that he did. He's a man. He's capable of making mistakes. So we follow Yah and him only, not no man. Yes, anybody else have any comments concerning that? Sir, my beloved brother.
The reason why you don't see him talking to you don't see the son is because he's talking to me, and he's telling me to the because if he do want to cover him, like you said, the thought of coming to sleep with him. So he's telling him not to do this, so he won't have the thought of sleeping with who he's not permitted to sleep with. So that's the reason why you don't see him talking to the son, because you don't see the son there because that's who he's talking to, and he's giving them the orders of what women is off limits.
So you say he just specifically just talking to the men?
Yeah, that's why you see him only speaking to. That's why you say, well,
that's why you don't mention the son,
because he's talking to the son. He's giving the son orders of what women is off limits, what women that's not to be slept with.
Then let me ask you this question: if he just talking to this message to the sons and not the daughters as well, then verse 10 explain that. If they're just talking about the sons.
Yeah, he's talking to the son, the nakedness of your son, of your son's daughter. He's talking to a man and the nakedness of his son. He's telling him.
So he's not talking to a woman.
Don't look at the nakedness of your son.
So he's not talking about parents in this verse 10, the mother and the father.
He's telling the son, the father, don't look at your son's, you said verse 10, the
verse
nakedness.
10, the nakedness of thy son's daughter or thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. So you're saying he's just talking to the father, or whether he has a son or daughter, not the mother.
I don't see that.
Well, I see he's talking about to both of the parents, because he told the kids not to look on not only their father's nakedness, but I don't want you looking on the mother's nakedness as well. See, this message is to the children of Israel. If you read verse 1, it's saying Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them. He didn't say speak unto the men or just speak unto the women. Now, y'all got some laws just for Moses to tell the priests what to do. Then he got some laws just to tell them what the men should do. And then he got laws specifically for what the women are to do and what not to do. This was for the children of Israel. And he said, none of you should approach to any that is near of kin unto them, speaking to the man or woman. Daughter, I don't want you approaching it to your brother. No. Brother, I don't want you approaching it to your sister. He's being to the whole nation.
Yeah, I know he don't want the sister to. I know it is for both of them to be speaking to the son. He don't have to say that he don't have to speak to the son, because he's telling.
I understand what you're saying. I see what you're saying, because he's just mentioned the daughters. Don't uncover the nakedness of the daughters, and you don't see the son. But you
there at those verses, that's where he was speaking to the son. But then he started speaking to the parent.
Right.
That's when he started speaking to them first. That's what I'm speaking to. That's why he told the sons to him. He started telling them what was off limits. Then he started talking to them.
Well, he talking to, see in verse 7, he's talking to the son and daughter. In verse 7, he said, the nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother thou shalt not uncover. And that's for a man or woman. See, that's not just not for the son. That's for the woman as well, the daughter as well.
Yeah.
And then when you go to verse 8, he said, the nakedness of thy father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. Not only is he talking about the son, he's talking about the daughter as well. Verse 9. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. Now he's talking about to the son and the daughter. Then verse 10, he's talking about to the parents.
That's what I said when he got to verse 10. Then he started talking to the parents.
No, but so you saying he's not talking to the parents?
He said, "Speak to the children of Israel."
Right.
He broke them down in segments.
Right, you're right.
First he started talking to the son, then he got over to the parents and started telling them what not to do.
You're right. But I thought I heard you say this message was only.
No, I'm saying you said why you don't see the son there.
Right.
And I said, well, the reason why you don't see the son there is because he was speaking to the son, not what women was off limits.
Right, and I said I disagree with that because he wasn't only speaking to the son in some of these verses. He was speaking to the daughter as well.
Well, I'm saying, well, if he was speaking specifically to the son, because when he spoke to the son, obviously, if the son can touch them, the daughter cannot touch the son either. But he was speaking to the son. But it's obvious it's going to be a balanced situation. The women can't approach them as well.
Well, absolutely.
Because it's still the same thing.
But absolutely. But see, this is the thing that we, and it's just maybe semantics. It's different on a little. I see him speaking to this, although the son is not mentioned for as the one that is being uncovered, but the son is mentioned in some of these verses, as I said in verse 7, dealing with the parents. In verse 9, I think you might be saying the same thing, but saying a little bit differently. But the bottom line is, you don't look on the nakedness. So we don't got to argue about this or that. The bottom line is, you don't look on the nakedness of your brother. You don't look on the nakedness of your sister. The kids don't look on the nakedness of the parents, and the parents don't look on the nakedness of their son or their daughter's daughter. That's the bottom line to it. He said, I go by verse, and I deal with the bottom line on it. That's why the scripture say, when you read, get wisdom. But without that get understanding of what you read. Because wisdom is good, but by itself, without an understanding of what you're reading, it's in vain. It's in vain. This man, sister, somebody who got the mic.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Okay, so I can get a clear understanding. So a grandparent can change her grandson's diaper. She just cannot change her granddaughter's diaper.
That's what it's saying.
Okay, so all of this. So if I don't know.
It was for me. It's hard to. It is.
Because it's like if you see a male, you see a young man, depending on who it is, or whatever that relationship is.
You think it's
male?
Yeah.
I guess is it, and I don't have to understand of Yah, of course, but I'm just meditating on will a person lack that desire if they saw a male's, the nakedness of a male, but if they seen the nakedness of a female, then it's like, I don't know. It's a little different for me, but.
In a society, whether in the black community or the white community, have been victims of abuse. Mass majority of sexual abuse, being molested by the father, or molested by the brother, or raped. And I believe way more than men have. And maybe because mine was already messed up, or maybe because they was looking on the daughter's nakedness when they shouldn't have been. But That's y'all. That's what his word say. I can't change it. I know he said when a woman has a child, when she have a son, she's be unclean for a certain period of time. Then a female child, she's unclean longer. You say, why? Well, both of them children. Child coming out the same womb with the blood and stuff all on them. Why is it a difference? Well, because y'all said it. I don't have all the understanding. Y'all has that. So to keep me safe, to keep me in line, I just say, well, I'll read it, and I just don't understand it right now. But I got to roll with what it's saying. That's why y'all promise our people eternal life. Because that's actually how long you need to understand the wisdom of the Most High. Because it's just too high. And like David said, I can't attain unto it, baby. His wisdom is too high. So, but I just wanted to present this to y'all to get y'all something to think about. Not to try to bring trouble to you, but just to give you something to meditate on and think about. Consider, well, maybe I've been doing this wrong. But this is what it say. Maybe I need to study this a little bit longer. Like I said, we was wrestling with it. Wasn't we, sisters? Brothers, we were wrestling with it, wasn't we? Yes, sir, Brother Keli. Oh, sorry, Sister Don. Then Brother Ariel. Then we'll come back to Keli.
I hate to kind of go all Babylon mindset on this, but I mean, the entire whole chapter 18, if you looked at it from a sexual perspective,
yes,
it's all about the sexual relations that you can and cannot have. So perhaps it's speaking specific as to whose nakedness you can see and whose nakedness you cannot see, because Yahweh didn't want us to become a nation that was built up on incest and inbreeding.
Yes.
So if there's a distinction between whom you can marry and who you can't marry, that would prevent that. Hence it being removed enough to where you can marry a cousin and so on and so forth, because as a nation, we had grown bigger enough to where we could extend our marriages outside of the family.
That's right. That's right. And let me show you some other scriptures dealing with this before Ariel. Just want to go to a few places my brother turned to the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter. Start at verse 22 of Exodus, the 20th chapter. It said, and Yahweh said unto Moses, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, you have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make with me deities of silver, neither shall you make unto you gods of gold. And altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. This is another law of the Most High. Now, the same book of Exodus, turn to the 28th chapter. And this will be the last verse that I read. Exodus, the 28th chapter. And this is for the priest. Exodus 28 and verse 40. It's saying, for Aaron's sons, thou shalt make coats, and thou shalt make for them girdles, and bonnets shalt thou make for them for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, and shalt anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come into the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die. So this is something that was most serious. Y'all said, I don't want them coming into the holies, the holy of holies, with their nakedness showing. So he defined to the ministers how they should dress. And that was from the loins unto the thighs. And when they go up on the altar, he ain't want nobody. You see that? You see that? No, and that teaches us that we must dress in an appropriate manner, because people are watching when you come before them. You don't want all your stuff hanging out. You don't want your tail showing. You must dress appropriately, because people are going to even judge you the way you dress, whether fair or unfair. You judge in this society by the way you dress, the way you present yourselves. You walk down the street with a hat turned backwards, your pants hanging down, they're gonna think you a thug. Might not be no thug. You might be working at P&G, at GE. A man got on a suit and tie. They might think he a businessman. He the biggest dope dealer out here on the street with the suit and tie on. But they're gonna be judged nevertheless by the way you dress. And now they did it all throughout the scriptures. People were judged by the way they dress. But dealing with the nakedness, that's something that's serious before the Most High. And he wants you showing all that. No. And a wife should never dress in a manner to even make her husband uncomfortable. Stuff all hanging out. And he out with her. I mean, we done got so corrupt as a people. I mean, it's the thing now. Just look at the little BET Awards. How they come dressed. Woman with a little skinny top coming down on this side. The chest is half out. It's just, oh my goodness. And all this open. And they think that's sexy. No honorable man would even look at you. Stuff all hanging out for the dogs, and that's all they want you, is the dogs, the vultures, the roof. Those are the only ones that want your righteous man. Nah, sister, put on some clothes. Go home and put on some clothes. No honorable man would deal with that. In Daisy Duke shorts. Shorts all the way up to your tail, crack of your tail. Butt cheeks hanging out. But this is what our people has done come to. Showing that nakedness is popular. It's a popular thing now. Sister, you got what? You wearing that long dress? What's wrong with you? Look at you crazy nowadays. Gotta hang it out. I gotta have it hanging out. Well, I'm gonna go to Brother Ariel first, because he was at the mic.
Shabbat Shalom. I was under the impression in this chapter right here that it was talking about different levels of uncovering the nakedness, like the one brother brought out in like Leviticus 20.
Yes.
And like in this verse right here, in verse 17, and as well as many of these other verses, one of the key words is, and in verse 6, where it talks about to uncover the nakedness. None of you shall approach anyone who is near of kin to him to uncover his nakedness. It's verse 6. Verse 7, you shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, nor shall you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are near of kin to her. It is wickedness. Even if you continue to read on it, it continuously refer to that. Even in verse 19, also, you should not approach a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is in her customary impurity. Mm-hmm. So you have to question the whole in-depth of each verse. And then a verse, something that I haven't seen in here, because I had talked to this with somebody else before, is I don't see nowhere where it says something about not uncovering the nakedness of your son or your daughter. You know, if it's that verse in here where it says, do not uncover the nakedness of your son or your daughter, because that may be a reason why a lot of our people may have had maid servants to work in our houses with us, because we see where it say about the granddaughter, or your grandson or your granddaughter. But
well, don't say, Brother Ariel, about the parents can't change the kids' diapers, or you will see it in here. It talks about specifically about the parents and the grandchildren. Now they let the kids know not to look on the parents' nakedness, but you won't read that about the parents to the youth. And when I went to Genesis, the 9th chapter, it specifically talked about how Ham saw his father's nakedness and he was cursed by it. So and I understand what you're saying, because some in the Bible that he pointed out is talking about sexual as well. Because as a brother said, once you get to looking, it leads to it. Matter of fact, turn to 20. Where was that? That 17th verse, believe what you have read. Is that if a man shall take his sister or his father's daughter or his mother's daughter and see her nakedness, right? And she see his nakedness, right? Y'all said is what? It is a wicked thing. They shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He have uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity. Now it can't get no plainer than that. It said they saw it, she saw his, he uncovered, the iniquity was uncovered, the nakedness was uncovered. They gonna die childless. But like you said, the other verse, it speaks about how he laid, what my brother pointed out. The man that laid with his father's wife have uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. And it says the same thing in the 18th chapter about, turn back to the Leviticus 18 and right, about laying with verse